Right, we're getting towards the end now. Guild content. Okay, guild content. So this is a game that lives and dies by guild content, right? Which is fine. It's great actually because it shows that they understand. A game, especially an MMO, it has to have one specific trait and it has to live and die by that trait. It has to be its best in class. Now, this game, in some senses, you could say best in class, from the aspect that actually a very big part of large scale PvP in MMO games is loads of players on the screen, it lags, and that sucks for a lot of people that don't have expensive computers for that generational time. And it sucks. It's not a good feeling. And having a game that does that well does have value. But again, guys, think about the bigger picture. How can they understand something so important but fail so critically on everything else? It shows how inept and just not understanding of the game that they have made or want to make or want to maintain. Like, for example, we have a game that is built around loads of people playing it. That's what an MMO is. Communities, guilds, clans, factions, alliances, you know, all these things, right? All these aspects create this game. And yet, if you are not part of the top alliance, the top guild, it's closed off from you. Now, personally, I think if a large alliance or a large guild has the capability to dominate a server, I think that's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, if there was no seat of power in a PvP game, what are you actually aspiring to? Like, you know, the server needs to aspire to, hey, there's this guild that controls this thing and we need to stop that. We need to take it over. We need to resist that, or we need to do this or do that. That's your motivation, guys. It gives the game meaning, it gives it purpose. I'm not saying that should be the only meaning or the only purpose, but it does give it meaning and it does give it purpose, and that has value. It's a good thing. The problem is that you need to give value and meaning to everyone else in the meantime. This game, if you are not in the top, like, let's say the top 5% of players on your server in terms of the guild you're in, the alliance you're a part of, or your gear score, or the money you've spent, or the power you have, or the ability you have in a 3v3 arena, or whatever, right? If you are not a part of that, you are a non-existent entity. You don't exist. I promise you, these players, those guilds, they don't even know you exist. You're literally like, you're not even an afterthought to them. You're just like, you're actually an NPC. We are NPCs to them. And I'm not saying that in a sense of like, they are dominant and we're inferior and we're subhuman. I don't mean it like that. But what I mean is like, the game has such little meaning for anyone outside of that circle on every server that if you are a part of that and then fall out of it, you will just quit the game. And if you never become a part of that, you may keep playing the game, but you will eventually have to realize that you will never be part of that, and then you will quit the game. And then everyone has quit the game apart from the people in the circle. And then the people in the circle realize that, hey, being in the circle has no value anymore because nobody wants to get in the circle. And we're all just doing things inside the circle that no one cares about because we're all inside the circle. And then they start quitting and then the game dies. Now, look, the first stage of that has already happened, which is, you know, if you look at, I like to sort of like break it down in like very non-scientific percentage brackets, right? Let's say you split it into three. Let's say for argument's sake, let's say 33% of players are a part of the large alliances, the domination elements of the game in the top tiers. 33% are guilds trying to resist that. And then the other 33% are just players just playing the game. You know, they're nowhere near the end game. They don't even think about it. They've got mana regen on their weapons. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Now, look, I actually think, in non-literal terms, but sort of literally, the first stage of one of those group of people quitting has already happened. You know, if you look at the Steam charts for the game, you roughly say, what, 300,000 people, and now it's down to 200,000. That's a third. Yeah, okay, coincidence numerically, but, you know, metaphorically, we can say that every server has now established the dominant alliance. That dominant alliance has used systems in the game to abuse, to circumnavigate any barriers to that domination or the resistance of such, to the point where the resistance almost comes through the fact that it's just a fucking mess. It's nothing to do with the fact that they are genuinely superior. Now look, some servers obviously have guilds and alliances that are just so more superior that it's not arguable, okay? Like, even if you could see everything, understand everything, and everything was fair, you'd still get smacked. Like, that's obvious. But I imagine a lot of servers don't have that, and it mostly comes down to the fact that you're fighting in areas that terrain-wise have not been designed for group combat, which is ironic considering the core principle of the game is group combat. Or it's the fact that your screen's a fucking mess, okay? You can't see shit. You can't tab target onto shit. You can't decide what you're trying to target. It's a fucking mess, okay? That's what it basically just comes down to. And I feel like, you know, the resistant skills or alliances have tried to resist. They've either failed or succeeded, and they've swapped. So, like, if they succeeded, they've taken that dominant role, and the people that failed, they are now the ones quitting because they failed. Or if you're the guild that, you know, has tried to resist your server, half your guild's probably gone to other servers randomly to just like blend into other top guilds to just move on, or they've quit because they can't resist. And even when you do try to resist, you're greeted with this horrible group visual fucking mess of a game that even it just makes it the defeat feel even worse, right? I imagine. So yeah, it's just god awful. There's no excuse for it. You can't design a system that's so well optimized for that thing and then completely forget how to make that thing. It's like spending $1 million on a machine that makes perfect donuts and then forgetting the ingredients to donuts. Like, it's completely inexcusable, unforgivable, and people need to talk about it. They need to vocalize it in their own heads and be like, do you know what? Yeah, that is a bad game, because how the fuck can you invest and perfect a donut making machine but not know the ingredients to fucking donuts, man? Like, yeah, it's unexcusable. That's my sort of rant bit for talking about guild content. You know, I've already mentioned how I really do believe it is unforgivable how this is not a guild system. Yes, have it be a solo version, but this needs to be a guild system, man. Like, it's astonishing. I don't know, maybe in a sense it is a guild system, I don't fucking know, but the game is so poorly made that this could be a guild system and I don't even fucking know about it, despite being in multiple guilds. Like, my understanding is that the guild system is you join a guild at certain times. Of course, you only get told when you can and can't do things, and at certain times you go into your guild hall and you go kill a guild boss. But that never works, because this is Europe, and even in America it would be the same. We've got people from East Europe, Central Europe, Western Europe, you know, Northern Eastern, Northern Western. Like, not everyone can be online for that exact hour. So now a guild is missing healers, missing tanks, missing DPS. You're asking people on a random, like, Wednesday or Thursday to collaborate and organize around a single time moment to go and do something. Like, it's surreal to me. It's garbage. As where, you know, you could have had this system. This could have been solo content, but it could have had 5-man, okay? It could be 5-man systems or 3-party systems. Where a system where like people can go in with their group of friends or an organized party from their friends or guild and do these things and compete in these things. Or it could have been, you can even go further and say you can have those things, but also have 20, 40 people and create more mechanical depth, you know, like keep it how it is, but update it for the amount of people it's going to be in there. Like, why is that not a system? The secret dungeon system is like, it's there, it's cooked, it's ready, it works, and it can so easily work for guilds. A guild can be like, hey guys, we're going to try and challenge floor 9, and then their idea of guild success is not compared to this guild that's played, like, I don't know, for a year on career, has all these amazing builds, all these talented players, and all this great gear, and they're trying to take over the money and blah 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 blah. Like, instead of comparing your guild to that, which inevitably just kills your guild, obviously, your guild can be like, you know what, we're a guild that's trying to get to floor 20. We're a guild that's trying to have the best gate of infinity times. Like, we're a guild that's going to build around that. Like, we're a party of 5 that tries to have the best times. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to, like, how do I even word it? Like, you need to spread out the goals, the end game goals, and the meanings of success in your game. It's so bad that the only meaning of success in this game that has any meaning is, do you control a boonstone that gives you a boss, that gives you a drop that's worth a loaf of money? Do you control a server that restricts everyone else from accessing content so that they are slowed down, or that you're sped up, or that you make a bunch of money? Like no one is having fun in that system, man. No one is having fun. So yeah, that's that part. What's next? Let's check my list, because I had to break this all down into segments. Lucent, right. The big issue of Lucent and Auction House, that's going to be the next talking topic. And then the one after that, we'll talk about how Amazon Studios, they're just fucking clueless at managing life cycles. And then that should be the video series. Yeah, I'll end it there in terms of that's the series. That's where it will end, talking about the Amazon bit. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I can get like, I don't know, if I can get like 30 views on each video, or like 5 likes or whatever, then I'll consider making like more videos about topics like this, because, you know, that shows that there's some kind of traction. But if there's only like 1 view and it's me, or my nan, or my partner, then yeah, obviously you won't be hearing from me again, guys. But anyway, that's that.